Welcome to episode 183 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
I'm back. I'm back, bitches.
Right. Which is obviously my comment before that. Not true, I would not say, or you would not have to say you're back.
Right. It wouldn't be as always. Right.
Right.
As mostly.
Yeah.
As most of the time.
95% of the time.
Yeah.
Joined by.
Yes. That works. All done camping.
How was the trip?
The trip wasn't bad. The trip was necessary, and when it wasn't really camp. It was camping, but it's more like a cabin
In the woods.
Yeah, it's in the woods. It's right on the water, on a lake. So it's nice. You know, there's running water. You can take a shower. It's not like you're fucking living in a shed.
You're not roughing it.
No.
Did you fish?
No. I did not fish. No, I do not have a license, and I don't want to get one because I'm not much for fishing. I have fished. It is not my chosen way to spend my spare time.
I love a good fish.
Yes, as long as it's virtual.
No, I like real fishing.
Do you? No, you don't.
I swear.
It's outdoorsy. You don't like outdoorsy things.
Big fan of real fishing.
You're telling fucking lies.
But I practice the catch and release because I don't eat fish.
Oh, see, I like fish, but I don't want to catch them. I want someone else to do it and cut it all up, and then I just throw that bitch on the grill with some spices.
So we'd be a hell of a team.
Right. We could do a charter service. We can cover the whole gamut.
Because I like to catch it and enjoy its beauty and look at it and then let it go back to its natural habitat. And you like to fucking kill it and eat it.
I might kill it and eat it. Right.
Do you kill a fish? You just leave it out of the water?
Do
you fucking smack it in the face?
No, you just cut its head off.
While it's alive?
Its head and its tail.
While it's flipping around?
Yeah.
I think I'd let mine suffocate. I
mean, you can do that, but, you know, like when you catch them, because you want them to be fresh when you, like, you know, descale them and everything and fillet them, so you take them off and you put them on the thing and then you just take a big knife and plop. I mean, it's quick. It's quick and painless. I don't know if it's painless.
Yeah, I've seen my grandfather. He used to do it. Nail it to the fucking board and like rip its fucking skin off.
Well, you mean when it was already dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, descale it. Yeah.
Super gross.
Well, that's how food happens, man.
But I don't like the behind the scenes of that.
No, I understand that. I can get that. But yeah, it doesn't bother me because if I wasn't top of the food chain, something would be fucking descaling me and fucking.
I mean, who's to say you're really top?
Dinner. Well, that's what I hear.
A lot of unknown out there.
Well, I haven't been eaten yet.
Yeah.
Or skinned or any of that, so I'm figuring I'm at, you know, probably over halfway through my life, so I think my odds are pretty good at this point to not have that happen, to be flayed.
No, now's when you have to start worrying because you're not as fast as you used to be. You can't jump as high.
Yeah, but my meat doesn't taste as well.
You don't know that.
I do, because
You've never eaten people.
That's how old people work.
You've never eaten people.
That's how old anything works.
Name the last time you ate a person. Exactly.
A real person?
Yeah, the only kind.
I bite my nails. Does that count?
No.
No, even if I swallow it?
It's weird, but no.
On accident, of course, not on purpose.
You just got like a nail eating.
Yummy.
Yeah, you got a nail eating fetish. You send somebody on Craigslist $20, they send you an envelope full of nails.
I'm sure there is one.
That's fucking gross.
There probably is one. Better than toenails, I reckon.
I mean, nail's a nail.
No. Actually, toenails are probably cleaner.
You're not wiping your ass with your toenails.
Right. They just kind of sit in socks and get sweaty. Everything else, you're like, yeah, wiping your ass.
If your nails get too long, it'll go right through that toilet paper.
Touching your... that happens.
Just something to think about. And then the way the nail is shaped, it's like a fucking scoop.
And you know what? If you don't buy the right toilet paper, you don't even need a nail.
If that's the corner that you've decided to cut and you're a listener of this show, take some advice, yeah, and cut something else out in your life. Life is too short to wipe your ass with shitty toilet paper.
Yep, without a doubt. I have one kind of toilet paper that I like, and that's all I like.
I'm not brand specific, but I'm going to spend some money on it.
Oh, I'm brand specific. Nope. Angel Soft double rolls. The end.
Man, we've got some like Charmin Extra Soft right now.
Uh-huh.
It's like wiping with a fucking fleece blanket. And it's like as thick as a shirt.
Yeah,
like it's fucking thick and soft.
Yeah, I like the I've used the Angel Soft double roll for years and years and years, and I refuse to switch because I just don't like that fucking
You know what your ass likes?
high school or workplace toilet paper.
God bless.
You know what I'm talking about.
So the other day,
Listeners, you know what I'm talking about too.
I'm out and about, and I'm like, ooh, gonna have to shit, not gonna make it home. I'm in a home improvement store, the one that's not orange.
Okay. So the blue one.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, I'm not going to make it. Which I'm not one of those people that's weird about shitting in public. I think I've been clear about that on this podcast.
You have, yeah.
I'll go anywhere.
Yeah, so will I.
So I'm like, oh, I feel it. I'm not going to hold it. I'm just going to go. We're not heading home directly after this. I'm going.
That's fair.
So I go, secure my position, get a nice corner stall, the big handicap one.
I know. I use that one too, and I sometimes because I'm like, what are the odds? But it's going to happen one day, and I'm going to be like, shit, I'm the asshole.
You're going to walk out, somebody in a wheelchair is going to be staring at you, and you're going to have to start dragging your leg.
Yeah. It worries about me. It worries me.
Yeah. So I secure a good corner unit. It's roomy. Now, here's what I will say about Lowe's. Apparently, something in the air makes everybody have to go. Because there's like 8 stalls, and
they're all
all
full.
but the corner one was full.
Sounds right.
Like they were making dreams come true in that place. So I sit down and now I use the toilet seat liner in public.
Okay.
So I use the fucking tissue paper thing that you have to punch the fucking middle.
I don't.
You punch the fucking middle. This is the only thing I'm doing to live the right way. I'm using the liner.
Not me. I live on the edge.
You just bare ass it right on the fucking dirty ass seat.
Yeah. I'm all in, man.
So I fucking punch the center out of this, and I get secure my spot. I use the rail to get down. Really hunker down.
Uh-huh.
And everything goes fine until I go to clean up.
Right.
And what apparently they have done is take the excess mulch they have and press it into sheets for you to wipe your ass with.
Yes, and it's just disintegrates upon.
It's hard as a fucking rock till it touches your ass.
And then it just.
And then it's gone.
Yep, and then disintegrates.
You're better off just to barehand it.
I know the stuff you're talking about.
It's like not even a white color. It's like an off-white.
Uh-huh. I do. And there are no perforations.
Right. You have to make your own. Like a fucking savage. You just have to rip it wherever you want.
Yep.
That was also one of the noisiest bathrooms I've ever been in. They were playing the trumpets. The other guys in the stalls were.
Nice.
And I get shitting as a thing everybody does. It's fine. But there's still a part of me that's childish enough that I can't keep it together when everybody's going. Because they were all different. They were, yeah.
I know.
So they were all hitting different levels. And I started to chuckle at one point, and I could tell that no one else was chuckling. Like I let out a little noise, like a little laugh.
That's fine.
It was audible because.
Too. Yep.
Yeah, but
I can be a child about it too, especially when there's you got different pitches and it's almost like a song.
Right. That's what happened. Like 4 of them hit, and it was like bom bom bom, and I was like, I just lost it because I'm like, what are you guys doing? All right, let's get it finished up.
Yep, a little tune. Let's make a tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I laugh too because I can be childish. Because the first thing that I laugh about is, haha, I'm shitting in a public stall where there's other people right next to me taking the shit.
Yeah,
for some reason that occurs to me that's funny.
Because you're 18 inches away from another grown-up that you don't know who's pooping also.
And you know what you're doing, and they're doing a very similar thing. Right. So you know that it's odd to be that close to somebody doing that.
But taking a poop is very vulnerable.
Well, especially if you're anything like me. When you're at home, it's like doors closed, locks, don't come in, leave me alone.
Yeah, right.
But out in public, it's like, fuck it, free for all.
Right.
Why do we need doors on these things? Or walls? Fuck it, we'll all watch.
You just want them in a circle, backs, like just a circle where they're all facing out.
Like Duck, yeah, you can play Duck, Duck, Goose. A weird version of Duck, Duck, Goose.
I don't want my legs touching anybody else. I have boundaries. I don't like the urinals that don't have a thing between them.
Oh, you know what I hate? I hate the ones that are just like a big fucking ceramic
trough
thing all the way down to the floor.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
hate
for the big
those.
dicks.
I hate those.
I like the little half wall, the little semi wall. I like that where I can like kind of get in there and do my own thing, even though there's a dude that's 8 inches away.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't care how far down the toilet goes, or the urinal goes.
And the trough doesn't. No, and the urinal, the thing bothers me because it doesn't matter. There's no angle that you can do that where you're not getting some sort of urine on yourself.
On your feet?
On your shoes, on the bottom of your pants,
Yeah.
somewhere. Depending how tall you are, it might be getting on your knees.
Now, are you worried about the people when you walk in and take a shit and it looks like someone has just peed everywhere all over the stall?
Oh, yeah. I do.
Are you worried about
that
those
down.
people?
I go get a paper towel and I wipe that shit down.
I won't shit in there. I'll find somewhere else.
Well, that'll be the first thing. There's nothing worse when you go in there and someone like either tried to flush and it didn't work or just said, fuck it, I'm not gonna.
You walk in, you're like, God damn it.
That's the worst.
Right.
And it's just full up to the top and it's fucking paper, shit brown paper. And you're like, what the fuck, you fucking heathens?
You animals. I've never backed up a public toilet ever.
No, I haven't either.
Like, they flush. It's like a fucking, like, tsunami in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
like, how can it not?
done.
It's a whirlpool. It really sucks.
It gets that shit done. And
Yeah, it's like,
yeah,
it's just sucking air. It's getting so much water out of there.
That's what I hate. Or then you go in there and there's fucking shit paper. Like there's nothing in the toilet. The toilet's fine, but there's like used shit paper on the ground. You're like, what the savages was happening?
I went in one the other day and someone had wiped their ass and then took it and slapped it right on the fucking wall.
Oh, yeah.
So the shit toilet paper was stuck there while what was noticeably shit was holding it on. I was like, all right, nope.
Yeah, I'll pass on this fucker.
Take a dump somewhere else.
Fucking yeah, a bunch of fucking heathens, man. What the hell?
Yeah. So if you're using bad toilet paper, stop. And if you're one of these nasty bastards that can't take care of the outside space,
Stop that too.
Yeah, that's gross.
Right fucking now.
Now, if you're one of these people that writes inspirational messages on the walls, please continue. Some of those make me laugh.
Some do, yeah. Some are stupid.
My favorite one has always been, what did it say? Any zero can piss in the floor, be a hero, shit on the ceiling.
Yeah.
I like that one. I see it from time to time, but I think it'll always be my favorite. If you draw dicks on the wall in the stalls, you could stop.
Yeah, stop doing that. And it seems that apparently everybody who takes a shit in public is either a racist or a prostitute of some sort.
They all have pins on them, though.
Yeah, but everybody's got a fucking pen.
Everybody's got a fucking Sharpie.
Yeah. Fucking weird. I don't understand public bathrooms, really.
Have you ever jotted an inspirational message down?
I have not, no.
Me either.
Because
I never have a fucking marker.
Exactly. I don't carry that shit around.
I'm not promoting
graffiti or
public defacing of any kind. But if I had a Sharpie, I think I would jot something down.
I don't know that I would. Because when I take a shit, I'm all business.
Oh, I linger.
I don't. I'm in there. I'm taking a shit.
I don't linger in public, but I linger at home.
Well, yeah, at home I do too, but I'm not going to draw on my own wall either.
Maybe you should. Hey, you should pop a big veiny dick up right there beside where you take a dump. And then when you get questioned, you just say anybody could have done it. Could have been anybody. I think I want to put like a what seems like a scavenger hunt / riddle up on there.
Okay.
That leads to nothing.
Like a geocache type thing?
Yeah.
Turn left at the second aisle?
Yeah, that's kind of what I want. Like past the toilet seats, like give them like clear direction on where they're going.
But it's got to rhyme like a riddle, yeah.
Right.
I get it.
And then they go do it and there's nothing there and they're like, what the or maybe there's another clue there that I wrote like on the shelf. But it just ends at some point and there's nothing there.
Which is like an Easter egg hunt in hell.
Yeah. In a home improvement store, probably. Because they're big and nobody cares if you're writing on a everyone there's got a marker. Right. Because they're all writing shit down.
So it could have been anybody.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's good. It's going to take some time to come up with a good one, though.
Yeah,
it's got to rhyme. It's got to make some kind of sense.
You don't want to rush it.
You got to be able to understand it, but there needs to be some figuring out to it. You know? So
almost like an escape room that starts in a toilet.
Right.
Yeah, something to think about.
Right, like, yeah. Through the door to the west, in the fourth aisle, you'll find your best, and there's some shit like that.
Right.
Obviously much better than that, but that was off the cuff.
Or maybe don't even give them the west. Like maybe talk about the sun rising. Like maybe make them do their homework. Make them Google.
Make them Google where it rises.
Yeah, where it rises, where they're at.
Because most people don't know. What do you mean where they're at? It's always the same direction. Doesn't matter where you're at.
It's true. It's true. It's a tough argument right now. I mean, because they're inside, they don't know where anything is.
Okay.
It's fair enough, though.
Yeah, that's not what I thought you meant.
Yeah, I meant like the location. They don't know where they are inside the building, where the building is facing.
Okay. That makes more sense.
I should have said in relation to the building, because it does, in fact, always rise the same.
Oh, fuck.
Maybe we should put some work into this. Not the sun rising, but the scavenger hunt.
It's something we could probably make happen, I suppose. That's what we'll do. We'll have a podcast party one day, and it'll be like Nolo's bathroom. We'll take it from there.
It's like an unofficial meetup.
Yeah.
Good work. Good work. So I played some Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah, let's move on. You're right. How'd you like it?
It's good. I picked up the, which I had played it a little bit when it first came out, but I picked up the definitive edition because I wanted it on disc. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty game.
I've heard it's really pretty.
It is. It's a platformer through and through. It's challenging. I'm still pretty early, and I didn't play very far before because I knew they were going to put it out on disc at some point. And I understand why it won all the awards it won. I understand why people get frustrated with it. I can already tell. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things that I definitely want to see through. The story's good. It starts off on a sad note, which I kind of like. I get tired of the same old happy story.
Me too.
I don't like games that are sad just for the sake of being sad, but I think if it makes sense in the story you're writing, then you should tell that story and not worry about whether it's happy or whether it's sad.
Right.
The only other thing I played besides that was some Rocket League.
No way.
And I know we talk about it a lot, but I just want to say that we're really improving.
We are.
We play at what I consider to be a pretty high level.
Yeah, I have started taking training seriously finally.
Right. Now there's been some disagreements in the past on your training.
Yes, there has.
You weren't wanting to train.
I wasn't. I still don't want to.
But I will say, since you've been training, you're happier when you play now.
I am happier when I play now. You're right. Well, a part of that is like life. Like my life is in a different place than it was when I was playing before.
I'm giving most of the credit to the fact that you're playing at a higher level. Okay,
I am playing at a higher level. Yes. Still do some dumb shit sometimes, like always, don't we all?
Yeah, but I think you feel, not just you, but anybody, like as you become better at a game, like you feel more involved when you're contributing.
Yes, yeah, I can get away. Yeah, that's fair.
Like if you're just sitting back there doing nothing the whole time and you win, you're like, yeah, it's great, we won, but it really wasn't a part of it.
Yeah. So yeah, my training has. I've been doing the training and picking up, so I've started to get a little better and a little bit more of a competitive vein than I was prior.
Now, you were kind of starting to slip out a little bit.
I was, but I caught myself and I came back.
That's what I was going to ask. Are you back in?
I would say so, wouldn't you?
I mean, I don't know. See, there's a lot of times where I turn my PS4 on with the intentions to play something other than Rocket League. Mm-hmm. And my muscle memory will go start Rocket League.
Okay.
Because that's what it wants to do.
Okay. I'm not there. Because here's the thing about Rocket League. It's not a game that I want to play without you guys.
Right.
Even the training aspect of it. If I know you guys are getting ready to get on and I'm waiting for you, I will go in and do the training. But as far as I'm going to turn on my PS4 and I have 4 hours to myself and I'm going to play Rocket League, no, I don't do that. But I'm still not, the one-on-one, and I don't know that I ever will be because that's not my thing, because I'm too big on having other people to blame. So
right, you could blame the other guy still.
Yeah, no, it's not the same.
I like the one-on-one a lot because that's where I think I learned the most.
That's what you've said.
You can't be a fuck-up in one-on-one if you want to win. It's impossible.
That's what you said.
Yeah. So I think it is... I don't want to say it's the most challenging because I actually find playing with other people the most challenging.
Yes, you do.
There are times when playing, I find playing with other people almost impossible.
I know, because I love when I'm waiting for you to finish a game when I'm on and we're partied up and you're like, oh, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And I think some of that is because... in one-on-one, which I probably play more than everybody else we play with when it comes to one-on-one, you're just in total control. Like if I see something setting up, like I know it's going to be there. Whereas now I'll have a perfect shot and somebody, because I don't say anything because I'm not thinking about it, will come up and like tap it right before I hit it.
Right.
And so then I get frustrated, and then I do it for everybody else too. Like I tap it when they're coming to hit it, or I hit them when they're going to hit it. It's not a one-way street for sure. But when you're playing 1v1, you just don't have to worry about that. You watch the other guy, you watch the ball, and then you just, situational awareness on where you're at. And,
right.
I like what they've done with the new items. I like the trade-in system. They've got to keep adding to that. They've got to keep
I agree.
Making that a bigger system.
See, I think here's where I think they made a mistake. So, and this is it's only been out for less than a week, or a little more than a week. I'm sorry, but I think they made a mistake. The trade-in system is good, yes, but it seems like they've made your ability to get items. You don't get items as frequently as you used to. Therefore, that trade, once you've used up what you already have, you kind of have no use for it. I think you need to bring back the frequency of you receiving items in order to make that trade thing really take off.
Right. I get that. It seems like there's a lot of... I think maybe they've done it this way because they knew everybody had such a backlog.
Maybe.
Because, so originally when this came out and it said, hey, you can trade your stuff in, I wasn't going to trade anything in because I thought, what if down the road they let you trade in multiple items to get better stuff?
Right.
Instead of trading in 5, you're trading in 10. But then once I realized I wasn't unlocking stuff nearly as frequent, I started trading stuff in, and that may be the point.
Maybe.
Is to go after the people who are just trying to hoard shit.
Who just had all their shit?
Yeah, so now I have not traded anything in that I don't have at least one of.
I haven't either.
Now, where I'm torn now is on the painted items. So okay. I have a road cone, which I'm never going to wear, and then I have a painted road cone that's painted like a fucking yellow color.
Okay.
It looks exactly like the orange one, but just barely lighter. So if I traded one or the other in, is that just as good, or do I need to keep both? That's where I'm having an internal struggle now.
I can see that.
Because right now I've kept all the painted items I have.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's personal preference, man. I can't tell you one or the other. It's not a decision.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel on that either.
So,
but
I wish you the best of luck with it, though.
I like what they've done with it. I like what they've done with that game. I like the 4 new cars. I did pick up the physical, the collector's edition.
You did, so you can get the 4 new cars.
Yeah, I wanted it on disc.
See, I like what do you think of the Neo Tokyo?
I like it.
I like it. I really, really like that board.
Now, I was a big fan of this board from the beginning, and I know everybody else was a little standoffish because it was different.
Uh-huh.
I think that's what competitive Rocket League needs more of.
more of the different styles of tracks
Yeah,
to take
so you
away
know-
from the. So you can't just get caught in the routine of how.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
I know I
Yep.
get upset about the Wasteland. I have the same problems that other people do. I fucking like Neo Tokyo.
I like Neo Tokyo too.
The Rocket Labs where it's sunk down in the middle and the
Yes.
goals are raised up. Big fan of that one.
Yep.
The spires or the columns or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I like the one with the columns on the
Big
on
fan
either
of that
side.
one.
On either
Yeah.
side, yeah.
Like, let's go ahead and bring these forward. I
Yeah.
like these. I
wish-
think Rocket Labs is a good platform for people to try stuff out. The round one didn't move forward because I think people don't like it.
No,
I don't want that in competitive because I think it's too hard to plan.
I do think they do need to move some of those to competitive, though. You're right.
Yeah, but some of those are fucking good, man. That one where the goals are up and you can push it and it's sloped up and it'll kick right in. That one's fucking
Yep.
awesome.
Yep, like skee ball.
Yeah, that one's fucking awesome. And the one with the big spires, those are awesome too. That game's making good moves. I think they have to keep that. I think you make more regular stadiums, but I think you also switch it up. Because I think that's what keeps it fresh. Because when Tokyo comes up now, I kind of get a little excited.
I really, really like that board.
It's just something different, and you have to play it completely different. It bounces off the corners different. It comes off the top shelf different. Like it just is different.
You got to be careful of you driving on the top shelf.
Yeah. You hit it too hard, you shoot up, you take yourself right out of the play, and if you're playing 2v2, then now you just left your partner by themselves.
Yep.
So there's a lot of strategy to it.
Yep.
We
So
play
just-
Rocket League a lot. If you guys want to play with us, hit us up, podcast@gamestitch.com, or hit us up on Twitter @game_stitch. And we can put together a game night if there's a couple of you guys playing, because we're pretty much always on.
Yeah,
I know we've
played
talked about
quite
it a
bit.
lot in the past, but I just kind of want to bring it back up, because if you quit playing that game, if you stepped out for a little while, go back to it and see if you like what they've done.
So Rocket League and Ori, that was it for you this week?
Yeah, I downloaded Innocent Life, which is a futuristic Harvest Moon. Came out on PSP.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember it or not. I downloaded that for the Vita. It's part of the weekly, mid-year sale that they have going, week 2.
Okay.
I think it was like $2.
Hey, it's not a bad deal.
Normally like a $14.99.
I got to turn my Vita. I haven't got on my Vita in so long. I need to.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff for sale. You missed a bunch of stuff last week, too.
I really do.
You need to jump on there.
Well, I'm trying not to spend money right now.
Well, I have a little credit. That's why I was doing it. I think I had $30 in the PlayStation Store.
Oh, okay. See, I have none.
Yeah, I had $20 left over from something, and then when I went to the E3 thing, we got $10 there.
Right.
So I had $30 in my account, and I kind of just been waiting for something to spend my money on, and I bought that.
Fair enough.
Trying to think. I think that's all I bought from that sale. So just one game, yeah.
I played quite a few things this week, really. More so than normal. Rocket League, of course. More Division. I still play pretty steady on that. I played both of the PlayStation Plus free games. I played Fury. Fury is... It's like a series of boss fights.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to figure out the repetitions and things like that. I can see it getting old really quick. I didn't even get to the point where I beat the first boss, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm done with this. It's not horrible. It's got a great art style. There probably are some people out there who will love it. I am just not one of them. I am just one who can tolerate it. And then I started Saint Rogue, Get Out of Hell.
What'd you think of that?
I'm really, really early into it. So far, it seems like typical Saints Row. Doesn't give you a customization option, which I was a little upset about. Or I'm not far enough in, but I don't think it does. But I think I kind of knew that going in, considering the title is Gat Out of Hell. So you're playing as Johnny Gat, right? Kind of figured. So far, I just got into hell, and I just met some demon guy. I wasn't on for very long before you invited me to the party and told me how bored I must fucking be.
Right. I was confused. I got on and saw you playing that, and you don't particularly like open world games, and I would think if you were going to play a sandbox game, it wouldn't be Saints Row.
It was free.
So when I saw you in the Saint Row, I was like, huh. odd.
I could see it being a little odd, yeah. And I finished Oxenfree finally. So,
What'd you think of that?
I really liked it. I really, really liked it. Very first, they call it a walking simulator. I can understand that. For me, it was more learning about the characters. The characters are really well written. They have a whole lot of dialogue. You can affect the things that happen in it through your dialogue. It's pretty creepy. And it kind of along the same vein of like Life is Strange with the supernatural and the characterization and the story. Nowhere near as good, but definitely my kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you liked that, or you liked Life is Strange, if you're into those kind of games, I think you would really, really enjoy it. I think you would like it, Ryan, to be honest, because there's no need to rush. There's no need. You can actually take your time just with the conversations. That is the mainstay of the game, is the conversations with the people that you interact with, these people that are your friends, to learn. That's how you learn about the different histories between the characters, through talking to them. So, it's how you learn how, you're one of the characters, just to give an example, one of the characters is your stepbrother. That's how you learn how their parents met. Your mom and his dad, or vice versa, whichever, is through the right amount of conversations and the right answers or questions that you're asking, is how you find the histories of the characters. And that, to me, was the most intriguing part of the game, and the part that I enjoyed the most, because that's what I enjoy in games, are those levels of depth in character. So, like I said, I think it's one you'd like. I know you like 3/4 Home. Very, very similar vein. What's the Sunlight? Nearly Sunlight? Eternals? No.
Actual Sunlight.
Actual Sunlight. And it's in the vein of those kind of games. So I think it's one you should try. I think you'd enjoy it. That's about it. That's all I played.
I picked up something that I'm going to mail to you this week.
You did?
Went to GameStop to buy my Collector's Edition Rocket League and pre-order a couple other things. And they had the Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 Grass Effect Z7 mech statue. Saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I thought, I kind of think I need that.
Uh-huh.
But then I started to I was like, who is this made for? Is it Mass Effect people? Is it Plants vs. Zombies people? Is it both? Because I'm not a Mass Effect guy, so if it's both, it should probably go to a good home who likes both. So I sent you a picture of it.
You did.
You felt like you needed it?
Yeah.
Let me get to the text message. I may have worded it a little stronger. Let me get to the text message. Let me find it here. What the fuck? I need that motherfucker.
That's what it was.
That's how you poetry in motion right there.
I had never heard of the thing until you even sent me the picture.
Right.
And I'm like on Amazon and eBay looking at Mass Effect stuff all the time.
Right. Well, that's a GameStop exclusive, and it's fucking cool looking.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, it's neat. It'll look good on a shelf. It's got the zombie inside the mech, just like if you've played the game.
It's going to look real good next to my female shepherd.
Right. So when you first glance at it, when I glanced at it from a distance, I was like, oh, it's a mech from Mass Effect. Like, that is what I first thought. And then I walked over and saw that shit-eating grin on the zombie's face in the cockpit. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Not super expensive, $49.99. Not all GameStops have it, but you can order it online, I think. But it's a pretty neat looking little piece. So I'm gonna mail that to you.
I appreciate that. I do have a complaint though.
What's that?
You never brought me my dinner yesterday.
Right. So I don't know what happened there. There was a lot of issues in that string of text messages. And it's because I was being a safe driver and using Siri. Siri's a whore. Because she sends all kinds of dumb shit to people. I was trying to tell you that I haven't had dinner yet. Instead, I said I'm going to get you dinner.
Right.
And then I said something. It said something wrong after that. Also,
it did. 4. Your 4 was It was FOR instead of 4 o'clock.
I'll let that go though because I understand that she can't tell the difference. I guess.
No, you didn't. You immediately typed the number 4 and then typed fucking Siri.
Right. Well, I said I could let that go with her because it's not her fault. Yeah, because I said no. Because that's 4 my time, and she put FOR.
Right.
Clearly, I should have said 4 a.m.
Yes, probably.
But God knows what she would have put if I said 4 a.m.
Yeah, I never got my dinner. Just to give everybody... Here was Ryan's text. I'm just now leaving work, haven't had a chance to pull any news, and I got you dinner.
And I said, and I got to get dinner. And she's like, sure, I'll get him dinner.
So my response to that, understanding that Ryan probably didn't realize what got typed.
Right.
I said, aw, thanks for getting me dinner. That's sweet of you. And Siri apparently had no problem when you told Siri to tell me that you hated me.
I said, I hate you, and she put it, and then I just smacked the dot key and then hit send. So I put like 6 periods after it.
You did.
That's what I get for trying to be a safe driver.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck it. Live on the edge, bro.
I will text and drive. I'm just throwing that out there. You shouldn't do it, but I do it. I think most of people, if they're being honest with themselves, they do a little texting and driving.
I never do it.
Most people. I'm not saying you do.
I do not. I'm a law-abiding citizen.
I don't know if you're being serious right now.
Not to be confused with the movie Law-Abiding Citizen.
There's no way that you follow every law. But you might follow that one.
Yes, we'll go with that.
I've been known to text and drive. But I'm trying to get better, so I'm using Siri. But she's a piece of shit.
At least for that one day, right?
No, I've been doing it a lot.
Oh, really? Is it working out for you?
No, it's dumb shit like that all the time.
I believe it.
Sometimes I see that it's wrong, but going back and fixing it would have been more dangerous than for me just to fucking type it out the first place.
Right, I get it.
So I just send it wrong. And then I end up having a whole conversation about some shit I didn't even try to say.
Right.
Luckily, it's usually to one of you, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's pissing me off.
Oh, fucking Siri.
Fucking Siri. There's not a lot of news this week.
No, there's not.
That's good. That means we're going to give you a little bit of your Monday back. We're going to jump through a couple headlines. Going to talk about a couple things, and then we're going to send you on your merry way.
Boom.
Done. The first story, Pokemon Go has arrived.
You have it, I do not.
Slow rollout. I think it started in like New Zealand. Finally made its way to the US of A.
Well, apparently it's huge.
It's huge. I like it.
Apparently it's causing accidents and shit.
Here's the thing.
Somebody found a dead body.
Oh, really?
I think I saw that. Yeah, some teenager was wandering around with Pokemon Go trying to catch them all and found a dead body or something.
I feel like that's got to be fake.
I didn't read the whole story, but...
It sounds like clickbait.
I don't know. It was on one of my Feedly news feed, so...
I haven't located bodies, but I have been catching Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Or Pokemon. I like it a lot. It's a mixture of, like... geocaching and actual like real world Pokemon. Like the whole world is now like a game of Pokemon.
Right.
Everywhere you go, you discover new things. There's these Pokestops along the way. At most, I'll say monuments, but I mean there's one at my local Zaxby's, so I'm not sure what that's about.
I don't know if that qualifies as a monument either.
There's a sign that is related to the 101st Airborne inside of Zaxby's.
Okay.
So that is what they list as the monument.
Any
fountain that's listed, like any fountain that's in front of a hotel is apparently a monument.
Huh.
But I think what they try to do is pick locations where people might go.
Okay.
So it makes sense. Like the Welcome Center here has one, things like that. I think rest stops have them. It makes sense. They try to pick safe places. Like it's not like there's not a Pokestop at a crack den. Because they don't want the kids to go over there.
Why, like, it occurs to me that that's probably where the real badass fucking Pokemon live.
At least the ones with more energy.
Right.
So there's these Pokestops. You click on them when you're in range. You spin it. You unlock stuff that way. You catch the Pokemon as they pop up, and they as you're moving, either on a bike, a train, you're walking, you're driving. You shouldn't do it if you're driving. Stuff pops up along the route. It keeps up with you. You get these eggs. The only way to hatch the eggs is by walking, so it's trying to encourage you to be somewhat active. It uses it uses the built-in pedometer in your phone
to measure your steps
and GPS, so you can't just walk in place.
Oh, fuck
which
that.
is shitty. Yeah. I like the old days where I could just shake my 3DS and it thought that I walked really far.
Right.
But yeah, it's good. It doesn't look great. When a Pokemon pops up, it's using AR, so it shows like your room or the street outside, and then there's a fucking Squirtle in the road, and you're like, you motherfucker. So you gotta throw a ball, you gotta capture him. I think this is a smart move. I think it's done really well. Nintendo's share, their stock shot up when it came out.
Yeah, it did.
I think it's done well. I think these are the moves that make sense for Nintendo right here.
Yeah.
This is obviously not part of their game rollout. This is something that was in the works way before all that happened. But this is good. This is the kind of thing where Nintendo's branding will really start to pay off in those franchises that they've dumped money into over the years.
Now, I have a question for you.
Okay.
As you know, I'm an old man.
Right.
So Pokemon was kind of like after me.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a game I would enjoy, or is this strictly for a Pokemon person?
Tell me what you know about Pokemon.
I know that you got to catch them all, and you have to battle them.
Okay. And do you know any of the Pokemon?
You can make them grow. Make them evolve, I should say.
That's important.
You can make them. They're able to evolve. Yeah. Do I know any Pokemon?
You know Pika.
I know Pika.
Your boy Pikachu.
Squirtle.
Squirtle's a thing.
Squirtle one.
Charmander.
Bulbasaur.
Charizard. You've seen those probably.
Yeah. Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
That's probably about the extent of my Pokemon knowledge.
Okay, so part of what I think makes Pokemon special is the familiarness that people have with the Pokemon, the loyalty that you have with your Pokemon that you had back in the day.
Okay.
So you won't have that.
If I was jumping on the Pokemon train now, Go isn't the place for me to start.
I'm not going to say that, but one of the things that with Go is I'm like, ooh, I hope this pops up, or I hope I see one of these. Like today I call Eevee. I like Eevee. She evolves into a whole bunch of different things.
Okay.
So I'm like, that's cool. You're not going to have that, and that doesn't matter, I don't think.
Okay.
But that aspect of like that fondness for all things that you loved as a child, that nostalgia, you're not going to have it.
So it's basically the nostalgia factor that I don't have.
So what this is going to be for
if
you?
this was Manimal Go, I would be all over this shit.
Exactly.
Okay.
But you know some important things because they evolve. So you catch these things. You catch multiple of the same Pokemon. You trade them in. You get these candies. You can then take those candy and use it to evolve these Pokemon into better Pokemon. And that you don't need to have the nostalgia for. You're going to understand that you're getting a better one than you just had.
Right. Okay.
The other part of Pokemon Go is that you actually go to these gym locations, which are churches, like social places, movie theaters, actual gyms, places like that.
And these are Pokemon Fight Club?
Basically.
Okay.
I'm probably not going to be a big part of that. You're more about the collecting. I like the collecting.
Okay.
You're probably not going to be a huge part of the fighting portion either. You're just tapping the screen. So you would be playing this game to catch them all.
Yes.
To evolve them, to make them stronger, and then to not use them probably.
Yes.
So if that sounds okay, then I think you're a perfect candidate to start your Pokemon journey.
Okay.
The other thing that it might be a good gateway into Pokemon for you.
Because of its simplicity?
Yeah, so it's not as deep. You don't have all the other... But what that might do is introduce you to Pokemon, so when the NX comes out and you scoop one up, and a Pokemon game comes out, that you might think, hey, this is something I'm interested in.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough. That was my question about it.
It might work backwards.
Right.
You might not have to play Pokemon to play it, but it may make you want to play Pokemon.
Okay.
I like Pokemon. I think you would really like Pokemon.
Okay.
But I don't know that Go is it's very, very, very like surface level.
Okay. So it's entry level, you would say?
Yes, very much so. Like almost to the point where it's not Pokemon, other than you're collecting them all.
It doesn't have the depth to it that some of the others do.
But you enjoy, like I like just going places and seeing what pops up. Like it's neat to me to drive to Target and be like, oh shit, Bulbasaur has popped up.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy it from that standpoint. Yeah. So I think it's a neat game, and I think that it's a very, very smart choice. The world is on fire with it. It's like trending on Twitter since it came out, and
yeah, it's been huge.
The servers are having issues.
It's been dominating video game news this week, really.
Yeah, like every website I went to, IGN, GameSpot, to pull stories for this very podcast, the only thing they're talking about is Pokemon Go. 8 things you need to know before you start. 5 things to know once you've been playing. 6 things you might miss.
Yep.
How to beat off and play Pokemon Go at the same time. Like that's all the stories.
I can figure that out. That's part of the fun.
Right. Well, you need 2 hands really to. Well, it's hard to say.
Good jar.
It's true. If your phone is small enough that you can palm it and use your thumb to flick to throw the Pokeballs,
that's right.
You could probably still do it. If you're using like a Note, probably not.
Probably not.
Probably can't.
Fair enough.
Probably gonna have to rub up against something.
Some other big news this week.
Nah, big.
For some,
maybe big.
I think it turned out bigger than anyone had really anticipated.
I'm not sure why it's so big, but yeah.
Rockstar's acclaimed 2010 open world western Red Dead Redemption arrived this week on Xbox One through the system's backwards compatibility. It was one of the most requested games alongside Skyrim and some of the Call of Duty games.
It looks good. I watched some video of it.
It does look good.
It looks good running on there.
It is, apparently, it has sold amazingly well since it went backwards compatible.
Yeah, I mean...
Or has been played an outrageous amount of time.
That game is great. I don't know that if right now the PS4... right now I have it on Xbox 360 in my house, and I haven't wanted to play it on Xbox One yet.
No?
I don't think I need
you want to?
No, I don't think I need to. Like, I want a new Red Dead one day, but if I want to play something open world like that right now, I'm just going to jump back on GTA 5.
GTA. Got it.
They scratch a similar itch for me, so I just don't know that I need to play that. I understand. I guess I understand that it's a big deal because people want this. I'm just not sure if in a month anyone will be playing this still. If right now you're playing it because you wanted it so bad, or if you actually wanted it that bad.
Or because you're able to get it.
Right. More when it comes to Rockstar news, though, The Warriors has been released on PS4.
Yes.
$14.99. It runs in 1080. It does have trophy support now.
I kind of want to get it.
Yeah, so PS2 game, The Warriors came out. Big fan favorite, cult following. But it's now available on PS4. But
Such
of course,
a good movie.
Of course, because it's not part of a backwards compatibility thing, you do have to purchase it. So it's a PS2 classic, $14.99. But like I said, it's running on in 1080.
And it has trophies.
And it has trophies, which is cool. $14.99 is not a bad deal for that.
Nope, not at all.
One more story. It looks like we're actually going to get No Man's Sky on the date that they said we were going to get it on because it is officially gone gold.
It has. They've begun printing that shit.
Yeah, so it is in production. So we're going to get a release in August.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
I am too.
You
think this is going to be a Rocket League killer for you?
No.
Me, I don't either.
I almost don't know if that is a thing.
I get that. I don't know if it is either. They just celebrated a year.
I mean, you've known me for a long time. And I don't know that I've ever played anything like I play Rocket League.
I don't think so. No.
Like, I talk about the game a lot, and I know that listeners, you guys have been listening to me. For some of you have been listening for 3 years, but I don't think my affection for that game comes across.
I don't think so either.
I adore that game.
Yes, if it was a woman, you would marry it.
I would drop on one knee. I would at least try to get it pregnant.
Yes. To try to force
so that I could have a piece of it forever, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, got it.
I love that game.
It is a very good game. I'm still in it. I'm not as in it as you are, but I'm still playing it fairly consistently, which I think says something about it as well.
Here's how bad it is. The other day at work, because like I said, we've been getting better.
Right.
Other day, let's not call it work. Let's say I was at a place where I have internet and I was reading a story.
Okay. Starbucks. We'll call it Starbucks.
Let's say I was at Starbucks on the computer. I was reading. It was a really cool interview with some top tier players. The competitive scene of Rocket League is kind of full of drama, with people moving teams and shifting and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I was reading a story, going down that rabbit hole. I ended up on Reddit, reading a bunch of stuff about all that and the drama and just kind of the goings on at a very, very, very high level. Rocket League.
Yes.
But then that led me to some of these, we'll call them amateur tournaments. Some of these lower tournaments that are free to get into that don't pay anything. They're just for bragging rights, or maybe they qualify you for a bigger tournament.
Right.
And I started checking dates to see like what I thought was doable for us to play in.
Yeah? I'm down for that.
I have never been a person who wants to be a part of the competitive scene.
Right.
Because I play games strictly for stress relief and enjoyment. That's the reason I don't finish a lot of games. I'm playing a game and it's not fun or I'm getting frustrated. I just quit because that's not why I play games.
Right.
It's not about trophies. It's not about beating as many games as I can beat. It's not about being the best in the world. It's about enjoying myself. But Rocket League, for some reason, I get frustrated with it. I don't like to lose.
You don't.
But it's not in a way where it's always like I'm frustrated at me. I'm never frustrated at the game because I always feel like the game gives me a fair chance to win.
Yep.
And that's what it does well. It's not one of those things where you're like, fuck, we're set up to lose. Like, it never feels like that. And maybe it's because we were only playing with friends, so you don't get shitty teammates. But I always feel like we have a chance to win when we play Rocket League. We could be down by 4 goals with 3 minutes left, and I'm like, we still have time to win this.
And we've done it.
Yeah, you don't really feel out of it until like the last 30 seconds if you're down by more than 1 goal.
Yeah.
Like, it does such a great job making you feel like you're in it. So, I don't know what's a Rocket League killer. I thought Uncharted 4 was going to be a Rocket League killer.
You were wrong.
I thought that. I thought, here's a game that's going to make me want to stop playing Rocket League. And it wasn't. I would play Uncharted 4 and then jump back to Rocket League. And I did that until I beat the story. And then once I beat the story, I've been in Uncharted 4 one time.
Yep, I haven't been in it since we all played the last time.
Right. I mean, So No Man's Sky is something I'm interested in. I think I have a pretty good idea what No Man's Sky is. I think a lot of people will be disappointed with that game.
I do too.
But I think that game is going to be very appealing to a certain group of gamers out there.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it.
People who enjoy the quote-unquote walking simulators.
Yes.
People who enjoy exploration games.
Yeah.
People who enjoy checking boxes and doing all the things one can do. Completionists. People like that are going to enjoy that game because you're not going to complete it. Mm-hmm. There's always something new. Everything's procedurally generated, so when you go to... No two worlds should be alike.
Right.
The idea that I could see something that maybe nobody else has ever seen, and maybe I get to name it, and
exactly.
That game is going to... I hope it is the thing that I do when I'm not playing Rocket League.
I feel like it's going to be that way.
The problem is there's not a ton... Minecraft right now is that thing I do when I'm not playing Rocket League, but I'm always fucking playing Rocket League.
Right.
So I never play Minecraft. I jumped in with Howard one time to play Minecraft because we just needed a reset because we were losing really bad. And all I could think about when we were playing is how much I wanted to play Rocket League.
Right. I know. We've been through that before.
Right. Like, I don't care about any of this other shit, and I love I love Minecraft. So, I don't know. I don't know what will be a killer for that.
If anything.
I have that pre-ordered. I did pre-order the collector's edition for Horizon.
Mm-hmm. I know that.
I'm a believer in that game. I think the game's going to be awesome. I think it's worth getting the collector's edition for me because I think that's a game I'm going to really enjoy. I picked up 2 of the amiibo I had pre-ordered. I also picked up Stay Puff in the Lego Dimensions.
Okay.
So I'm pretty pumped about that. I want to get back into that game. That game was great. I just quit playing it because of fucking Rocket League.
Fucking Rocket League.
Fucking Rocket League. Now, I'll tell you what works well for me is I'm thinking about starting to buy a lot of my newer games like that on Xbox One. Because I play in a different room. My Xbox One's in my living room.
Okay.
So when a Lego game or something like that comes out, or it's a game I'm just going to beat and never go back to, I'm thinking about getting those on the Xbox One because I will play. I continue to play Xbox One games.
Right.
You know, like I was playing Ori. I finished Tomb Raider.
But it doesn't draw you to Rocket League.
Right.
Okay.
Now, here's a problem.
Now you have it for Rocket League.
No, I didn't get it though.
Oh, you didn't?
So I thought the
One.
collector's edition was $20 for Rocket League. It turns out it's $29.
It's $30. Yeah.
So I didn't get it for Xbox One, but I want it for Xbox One. But if I do that, I'm going to kill that system too.
Not if you don't have Live.
That's true, and I'm not going to get Live because none of you assholes have an Xbox One yet.
That's right. It's because we're not traders.
I am getting Live when Sea of Thieves comes out, though. I'm going to play that game with somebody.
I think you'll have fun with that.
Yeah,
I can see you doing that.
Hopefully someone will have one soon, but if not, I'll play with Strange. I know a friend of the show, Garrett Wade, made a joke about getting it, but if he really gets it, we'll play together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to play that game.
Speaking of Garrett Wade, a.k.a. Enjoy My Teabag.
We need to apologize a little bit.
We do. I'll let you do the apology, and then I'll read.
So he sent us a tweet a few weeks ago.
About a week and a half ago.
We were all busy with work, whatever, no good excuses. We didn't reply to it. Only our friend Hoff and Show replied to it.
Mm-hmm.
We should have probably all given our 2 cents.
Which is why...
Then he was nice enough to say, hey, what's your email address? So I sent him back podcast@gamestitch.com, and he kind of mails in, hey, I sent this question in, here's my thoughts. And then last week I forget to include that also.
To be fair, I was camping last week, so I had nothing to do with that, Garrett. So it's not my fault.
I am the worst at Twitter, so I don't deserve the blame on that end.
Although I do believe that he did tweet out this week that I was missed.
Yes, and I immediately replied to that.
I saw that.
So if you haven't seen that, be sure to follow @game_stitch and see what happened there.
And just to give you a better understanding of what I bring to this.
Right. So I'm bad at Twitter. You assholes should be doing better than I do because I don't do social media.
I don't do very well either.
So I don't deserve the blame for the Twitter part. I don't deserve that blame. I will take the blame for last week because I do pull the emails and the questions and the news and everything for the podcast. So last week, my fault. The previous week, that's on Matt and you.
Oh, okay.
But we've included his letter. So his original question was, I have an Xbox One. If I'm going to get another system, what should I get? Should I get another Xbox One or should I get a PS4?
So here we are. What he says this week is, what up, guys? I sent you a tweet about choosing between Xbox One S and the PS4. He goes on to say, I would have a PS4 right now if the Neo leak had never happened months back. I like some of their first-party games, mainly Uncharted and God of War. Besides that, no real reason for me to get one, but I already have an Xbox One. So, a PS4 would open up my options, but if I get a PS4, that is another online subscription I'd have to pay for. If I get the Xbox One S, I can share those games by buying only one digital copy. I can go back and forth for a while. Basically, I want another Xbox, but I also want God of War, Uncharted, and more of what PS4 has to offer. Sorry for the long email, never apologize, it's a sign of weakness, and I'm glad you got some winners from my Doom codes. Love your show, and keep making me laugh my ass off. Garrett, a.k.a. Enjoy My Teabag.
All right.
You want to take this?
So I come at this from a couple different places because I understand where he's at. Because I would also have a second PS4 if not for the Neo leak.
Right.
If you're wanting to get a PS4, I don't think you necessarily need a Neo. I'm
gonna go a step further, and for what it sounds like he enjoys, I'm not sure he needs PS Plus.
Yeah, I don't know about that part because that does get a little tough. I struggle with that at times too. But I don't necessarily think you need a Neo. Now there's another rumor floating about that we're going to see a PS4 Slim soon.
Yes.
So you know that take that for what it is, but I don't necessarily think it sounds like you're pretty rooted in the Xbox One and the Xbox ecosystem. So I don't know that going all in on the PS4 is necessarily something you have to do. I don't know if that money's not better spent buying a PS4 now and a couple games instead of waiting for the Neo.
Right.
Especially since the Neo is probably a just a bit away.
Not to mention go ahead.
So I think the PS4 is the right decision. I understand wanting another Xbox. I'm in the same boat wanting another PS4. But I've absolutely loved my time with the Xbox One, even though the PS4 is my primary system. Being able to play stuff like Forza and Project Spark, even though the servers got shut down, or like Ori, Tomb Raider. Being able to play those games has been awesome for me. Dead Rising, Rise, State of Decay. Being able to play those games has been great. So I think that the exclusives you're missing out on PS4, I think you need to play them. If those interest you, I think you need to play them. I know you're talking about some of the things that are if you're waiting for God of War, that game's probably at least a year out,
possibly more.
So I wouldn't buy it for God of War right now. But if you want to play Infamous, and if you're excited about
maybe Horizon,
if you want to go back and play Killzone, Knack.
And the God of War remasters are available.
Yeah,
on PS4. There's a number of options.
Right, and there's a ton of PS4 has a ton of exclusives coming. Mm-hmm. They don't have a super strong lineup now. And
I would wager to bet as well, Garrett, that PS4 has a number of exclusives that you're not even aware of right now.
Right, but I think you start with another PS4, and then if you're fortunate enough to be able to have the money to buy another Xbox, you do that, because I think there's a lot of games you would enjoy on PS4. Mm-hmm. But I think your heart lies with the Xbox One. That's why I don't know if you have to go with the Neo. I think there's nothing wrong with scooping up a PS4 now, because this is going to be your secondary system.
Right.
And I think it's okay to treat it that way. It's okay not to buy everything that comes out for it and just buy the exclusives you want. It's like Dan was saying earlier, it might be okay to not even have PlayStation Plus, but then you do miss out on a lot of free games.
You do, and you can't play online, but if you're looking for the single-player God of War, the single-player Uncharted, probably not a necessity.
Yeah. But you
may want to... Oh, let me finish real quick. If you do go with the PS4, what you may want to hold off on PS Plus, play some of those games, and see how that ecosystem works for you, if it's something you're comfortable with and want to explore more, and then PS Plus could become an option.
I think the Neo is going to be at least $100 more than you're paying for a PS4 today. Mm-hmm. So like I said, you get a PS4 today, you pick up Uncharted 4 and a year's worth of PlayStation Plus, you're at the same price you would have paid for the Neo anyways.
Right.
And that's going to give you 12 months worth of free games, plus it's going to let you play online, and it's going to let you dip your toes into the PlayStation world. And I think that if it was me and I was coming completely neutral, I think that's where I would go, because I think the idea of having more systems, more games, more options is a win.
That's and Ryan, I pretty much agree with everything you said. I would go with a PS4 as well, just because it opens up a world that I don't have access to right now. I understand wanting the new Xbox or the Xbox S.
It's sexy.
It is, but the upgrades that you're getting aren't necessarily related to what you would be looking for out of the PS4. It's kind of like comparing, Windows and Hedgehogs don't have a lot in common. Some minor graphical upgrades for your Xbox. Yes, you can swap back and forth, but that's basically what you'd be swapping are those graphical upgrades and some terabyte and, the 4K stuff.
You could also grab all the hookups and swap the system back pretty easily room to room.
Right.
If playing in different rooms is really the thing that you wanted to do.
Right. And I also agree with Ryan that I think one of these PS4 bundles that are out there now, that are coming with, a game and a year of PS Plus, or 3 months of PS Plus and 2 games. There's a number of them. It's just do a little bit. You can do some research and figure out which one's best for you. But I think that's probably your best bet, because, like Ryan said, you're very invested in the Microsoft ecosystem right now. This is a new environment. I would not to say baby steps, but start with the shallow waters. I think you're going to find that what that is going to offer you and what you're looking for out of that are going to be very comparable. You don't always need the best and the newest. the Neo really isn't going to offer you, again, anything more than some graphical upgrades, some terabytes. It's not going to affect the games that are available, the games you're playing, other than the fact that they look a little better. If that's a major thing with you, you may want to wait, but I get the feeling that you just want to play those games. I would say go for one of the PS4 bundles that are available now. I wouldn't even worry about the slim version that Ryan was talking about. They're all over the place. They're running $299, $349 some places, depending on what they offer. I would say that would be my advice: is jump in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I ultimately do what you want to do, but I think, if Dan was going to get a second system right now, it would probably be an Xbox One, right?
It would, yes.
Yeah, because, even though you'd like to have a PS4 in every room.
I would, and I'd like to have a PS4 Neo.
Right.
But the Xbox, it's like Narnia right now. I can open up this new door and just walk into a new world. I can get another PS4. I've spent that money for a world I'm already in. You know what I mean?
Right. So I think, just think about it. I've had Xbox One for almost. I got it last September, I think, and I've not broke down and bought Xbox Live yet. So I think it's possible to have that system and not have PS Plus. So don't think that's something you have to do. If you only play multiplayer games, then maybe it is. But
right.
I think by not waiting for the Neo, if you're not going to jump into VR. I've never had a problem out of my PS4. It's very capable of running everything you run right now. So I think there's nothing wrong with just going ahead and getting one now.
I agree with that.
Good question. Sorry we forgot it.
Sorry Ryan forgot it.
Sorry Dan didn't reply to your tweet. But hopefully that answers it for you. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll answer what I can answer. I think that's your best move, though. I think you'll be happy with your purchase either way. But I think opening all those other games up to you, I think that's the way to go. I'm a Sony fanboy, but I would never buy a second PS4 before getting an Xbox.
Right.
For me personally, because I'm missing out on all these great games, and that's the unfortunate part about what people call the console war, is that everybody doesn't get to play everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because the games are really what it's about. If you have a question for the show, you can write in like Garrett did, podcast@gamestitch.com. We love all the feedback, all the questions, all the comments, concerns, everything. So be sure to get those into us. Now it's time for my favorite segment, our newest segment, Gone But Not Forgotten, where we reach back in our gaming past, we pull out something, we dust it off for you, and we tell you all about it. It's a game that you should have played. Hopefully we want you to play, or we want you to watch videos on it, or it's generally just something we love. This week it's Dan's turn.
And this week it's time to pull out the Wayback. I know Ryan says it's one you should have played. You may not have been alive when it was around. So this week, for my Gone But Not Forgotten, for those of you who don't know, Jordan Mechner is the creator of the Prince of Persia series. However, his first game right out of college was that Apple II classic Karateka. You remember Karateka, Ryan?
So I've...
Way before your time.
Right. So I've seen this, but I've never actually played this.
Karateka was one of the first games it predates the Nintendo, I believe. Yeah, because Nintendo's, 86? Or 85. So, yeah, it predates. I remember being in 5th grade, and it was either Oregon Trail or this, on the Apple II computers in the computer lab. And I always picked Karateka.
Now, Karateka came out on... It was remastered, not remastered, but it was re-released, right?
It was actually rebooted.
Okay. Did it come out on PS3? I remember seeing this game.
Yes, on the PS3. It was rebooted about 3 years ago.
I just remember seeing this. And I want to think maybe my dad had this for Commodore 64.
Yeah, it was out on the 64.
But I've never played this, but I have seen screenshots and whatnot from this game.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, doesn't hold up.
It doesn't hold up. You're right. But when you're in the 5th grade, and you're 9 fucking years old, and computers are a completely brand new thing, and the only thing you've ever been exposed to is what they have in the arcades and in your home, the Atari, Karateka is the fucking shit.
Yeah.
Real basic. You basically have your walking stance and your fighting stance. And you walk, and you basically walk from one side of the screen to the other, and if you come across a bad guy, you go into your fighting stance. And
not unlike real life.
Not unlike real life.
Mm-hmm.
And then you use your punches, kicks, and blocks to beat that person and continue. Then you change over to your walking stance, and you walk. And you continue on. You're trying to save the princess from the... You got to climb up the top of the mountain and save Princess Mariko. So, there's some small obstacles like a cliff, immediate death. You got to watch out for these little gates that spring up, immediate death. That fucking hawk. There's a fucking hawk that comes after you, and you have to fucking one-punch it. If not, it immediately kills you. And when you die in this game, you go all the way back to the beginning. There's no checkpoints, no save points. Let me tell you something else about this game. If you ever decide to play it, it's going to be the biggest thing you're going to want to remember. When you finally get ready to beat the game... Because, you can take a number of hits and your health does regenerate from the enemies all throughout the game. Once you beat the game and you enter Princess Mariko's room to save her, don't be in your fighting stance. And this is where the game makes no fucking sense. Because it turns out Princess Mariko is a badass. And if you're in your fighting stance, she will one-punch you and you will die. She thinks you're trying to fight her. Why she can do that to people who captured her, I don't know.
Hard to say.
But, it was just... The biggest reason that this is my Gone But Not Forgotten is because it was... it predates, Nintendo's Kung Fu, which is fairly similar. But it was probably the first time that I had, for your home, for not being in an arcade... This was the first time I saw this kind of what was capable. This was the future. This
Did you look at it?
This
was
was
my
my
first.
first.
And say, "This looks so real."
Yeah, it was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
It's like there's real people on my.
No, it did not look real. But at that time, it was like Saturday morning cartoons were something, and it was like, oh my god, this is like if you could play the cartoons,
right?
Which it's like now saying it looks so real.
So not to.
But it was my, as an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old kid, and maybe I was ahead of the curve. Maybe I'm more intelligent than I give myself credit for. Highly unlikely. It was probably just this one time, but I was like, you know what? This is the fucking future.
So this game published by Broderbund.
Yes.
Not to hijack your Gone But Not Forgotten, but they make a piece of gaming history.
Yes.
In the U-Force controller for NES. Which was a motion-controlled controller that fucking worked maybe 0.4% of the time that was released for the NES.
Right.
It is hot garbage water, and I have one in the box.
Yeah?
And it's a piece of shit. I can't stress that enough how much this controller does not work. But yeah, that's the first thing I saw when I just looked this game up. That's who published it. And that's who made that piece of shit. So they're also responsible for lots of PC or Mac games. They got like Myst and Prince of Persia and stuff on the Mac and stuff early on. So they had their hand in a lot of good stuff too. But that controller was kind of their first step into home consoles, and it was bad, real bad. So that's this week's Gone But Not Forgotten. If you have one for us, if you think about a game that we should talk about or that you just want us to read maybe what you have to say about it, be sure to hit us up on Twitter at @game_stitch using the hashtag GBNF, Gone But Not Forgotten. Or like I said, send us a message, podcast at Gamestitch.com, and do it that way. We love to hear what's special to you guys. And if Matt's on next week, he'll go. And then after that, I'll go. I'll just tell you I got a real fucking doozy.
Oh, do you? You got one lined up?
A real fucking doozy. If I go next week, then I'll. If he's not here, I'll release it next week. But it's just a real doozy. Something that's called a cliffhanger.
Yes, it is.
Be sure to follow us on the social medias. I am at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Tolhurst 2002, and Matt is at Goddammit Matt. Is that right?
That's true.
Yeah, and we're at Game_Stitch, like I said. We end each and every show with a segment we like to call One Final Thing with Uncle Dan. This week's no different.
Yes, we've been going for a while now, as far as this podcast, so I'm just going to keep it short. I'm just going to tell you the easiest way right now to appear to be a grown-up at work. Okay, anytime you feel like you want to say fuck you, just replace it with okay, great. You are being a grown-up at work by doing so. Mm-hmm. Anytime you want to say fuck you, just replace it with okay, great. I promise.
Also, in Rocket League, the new quick chat, okay is one of the options, and it is cutting down on the shit talking. Okay is very valuable.
Really?
Yeah, because people are like, F you, you piece of shit, and you go, okay. And that's not fun for them.
Okay.
So I like okay a lot. Anytime someone talks shit, you hit them with a quick okay, they're like, all right, well, never mind. Because they want you to feed into it.
Right.
I like okay. I like okay, great. I like all right. All right's good too.
All right.
All right. You can't, there's nothing. That's fucking done. If you want to punch somebody in the gut and you look at them and you go, all right, like that's over. Everybody's got to be done with that conversation. All right, we'll be back same place, same time next week. Remember, this show posts at 6 a.m. on iTunes every Monday. It is a little delayed getting to some of the other services. There's nothing we can do about that. That's just part of the process. But we are available on Google Play Music, Google Music Play, whatever the fuck that thing is called. We're available on the Google side of things also. Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spreaker. We're pretty much everywhere. Like I tell you every week, if there's a podcast service you use that we're not on, please let us know and we'll try to make sure we can get the podcast there for you. All the episodes are available from Gamestitch.com. Be sure to go over there if you want to catch up on old episodes. And leave us some comments. Rate us, follow us, thumbs up us, star us, favorite us, heart us, love us.
Because what's not to love?
Exactly. That also helps other people find this podcast. The more people that find this podcast, the more neat things we can do. We need more listeners.
That's right.
One day, if this thing got giant, maybe we could quit our jobs and do a lot more content. So
yeah.
Thanks for everyone that listens, and be sure to tell your friends, family, and maybe strangers about this show.
Yeah, just tell random people. That's how it
Walk
should
up,
work.
get on a bus. Maybe if the place you live has a bus, get on a bus, sit beside the most sketchy-looking person on the bus, and tell them about this podcast.
That's right. You know it.
Because that's what we do here.
It's exactly how it should work.
All right. This has been episode 183 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. Good night.
Good night.